Minnesotans dumped on, again. July 13, 2020 by Anna von Reitz. I grew up in Wisconsin and spent substantial portions of my life in Minnesota, too. I have relatives in Rochester, Minnesota, and Redwood Falls. I care about Minnesota, so it gives me no pleasure to know or comment on the present situation there. Governor Walz, another perfectly useless Democrat, sat in his palace and fiddled and did absolutely nothing practical or useful to calm the situation in Minneapolis down. Governor Walz willfully opened another Pandora's box and let the cameras roll. 1,500 buildings and businesses burned and/or vandalized. $500 million worth of damage. And who is going to pay for that? The good people of Minnesota and their insurance companies. Incompetent, disgusting, deplorable, inexcusable Governor Walz could have picked up the phone, called out the Minnesota National Guard, and cleared those streets in a matter of hours. And next, he could have called up the TV and radio stations and told those smug buggers to close up shop and go home. Could have. It would have been all over. No weeks of breast-beating maniacs. No spread of violence across the country. No occupation of Seattle. Governor Walz could have nipped it all in the bud, and instead, he sat on his non-existent cojones and told the police to stand down and left millions of law-abiding, decent Minnesotans at risk, and on the paying end of a mammoth crime spree. Democrats ritualistically blame Republicans for the results of their actions and their inaction and all their policies, too. They blame Republicans for their spending, for their corruption, and for their perpetual failure to bring home the bacon, even when they are handed supermajorities for decades at a time. At the same time, they stand around and brag at cocktail parties about how they have to keep the poor impoverished and miserable and racially divided in order to keep their base. Oh, yes, they do. They brag about what they do to the poor, with malice aforethought, and then they get on their soapboxes and lie through their teeth about it. Well, Minnesota, you are reaping the damages of stupid people. Your taxes, which were already out of sight somewhere in the stratosphere, are going to double, triple, maybe quadruple because you have bought the claptrap of the New Deal for 4 generations. You got cheated then and you've been cheated ever since, but you are all so pig-headed that you won't take a second look at your assumptions until every family farm and small business in Minnesota is destroyed and your way of life is gone. Well, step right up, Minnesota. Prepare to pay the Democrat Party ticket. Again. Prepare to pay until you can't pay. And then prepare to be scorned and left on a bread line like a washed-up old beggar, because you trusted these heinous politicians and they did nothing but sell you out and down the river. Links to Anna's articles and resources can be found in the video description box. Thank you for subscribing, liking and sharing. If you enjoy having Anna's latest articles made into videos, please consider making a purchase from Ed's website sacredintuitiveelements.com. Thank you.